This is the part where I go over the obvious. The name is Luxley, playing an MM Hunter in Eye of the Storm, which is a place where I'm just going to try to do one very important thing, and that is knock off as many people as I can in mid, just to see if they could fly. That's basically the game. And I could even be a stealth bomber. I kind of choose stealth once in a while, just simple, or camouflage to be specific, once in a while. Particularly, I always choose it in Twin Peaks and Warsaw Gulch because I want. There's one. Add one to the list. I always choose it in those two particular battlegrounds, just simply because I want to have that opportunity maybe to sneak into a base to get back a flag, because that's generally what my role is going to be in those situations. And a lot of times you have people guarding the front, guarding the entranceway 2 to 3, and you have to engage them to get through, or you have to engage them in the flag room. So at least if I have camouflage, I could hang out in the flag room, wait for the flag carrier, or sneak past the guards, so to speak. Which, granted, there's not a lot of sneaking in Eye of the Storm, but I just chose camouflage so I could kind of sneak in mid and maybe pop a few traps and keep them from grabbing the flag, because that's what I'm going to do here. I'm not going to be focused on hanging out, holding a base. I hate it that hunters are kind of forced to do. Is there anything that about your class that you hate it, that when people expect you to do something, because generally speaking that class is really good at it? For example, guarding a node as a hunter, guarding a new node as a warlock, carrying a flag as someone who has a lot of mobility, such as a windwalker, monk, maybe even a demon hunter. Oh, you carry the flag because you're a monk. Yeah, I understand, generically speaking, that might be the best thing for that particular person, that particular team, that particular class, but sometimes you transcend above and beyond and you do something better. I don't know if I'm making sense. I believe I am. We got the flag. That's what's important. So we have a little bit of a lead. We have 2 bases. It looks like they have 2 bases. So this is your typical flag run. And just procking some arrows, and we're putting a lot of pressure, pushing forward, and looks like we have the flag and 2 bases. So far so good. Heading over to Mage Tower to help out. Let's see, got a warrior here. He's got his, I mean, basically when it comes to Blade Storm, yes, it does big damage, but it also keeps you from stopping them. It's like, hey guys, you can't stop me. I'm a helicopter who's just gone crazy. And that's what happens. You just really can't stop them most of the time. Isn't that right? I'm just putting some hurt on this warlock. Or at least I'm trying to dilute myself. And he's down. And it's thanks for playing, Mr. Warlock. So what's the score? It looks like we have 1 base. They have 2 bases. So the Horde are doing the right thing here. We're running the flag. We seem to have command over mid. But the Horde are doing what they need to do, which is take a base while we're focused on mid. And that definitely seems to be something that they're executing, which puts me in a predicament. Do I defend bases? Because if I defend bases, chances are it's going to leave the flag unattended. And if I attend to the flag, then one of the bases is going to be unattended. And this is what presents me with a conundrum many, many times. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Let me know if you guys ever encounter that situation where you're kind of conflicted. Best way to describe it is Warsaw Gulch. Do I go after the flag carrier and return it, or do I offer some protection and peels for the healers and my flag carrier? Sometimes you find yourself conflicted about what to do, and there really is no right answer most of the time. And that, I don't know, I subscribe to the school of thought that when it comes to a battleground, I am not going to delegate the fact that someone else is going to do what they're supposed to do. I tend to think that they're not. Now, in arena or in competitive BGs like RBGs, competitive arena, my shift changes a bit because I know certain things need to be delegated to people, and that's just expected, and that works. But in an ordinary BG, I find it very, very difficult to just have faith that people are going to be at the right place, do the right thing at the right time. Let me know if you guys feel the same way. Am I just being overly negative here? Am I subscribing a little bit too much to pessimism? It's very possible. Let me know if you guys feel the same way. Leave it in the comments. As you do know, I do respond to comments. I'm one of those few people that actually do, because I believe if you guys could take a few minutes and watch one of my videos, or even some of it, or even just click on the video and then go out and get some ice cream and some gas and pick up your shirts and then come back. Whatever it is, I appreciate it. So I feel I could take a few seconds to respond to your comments as long as they're respectful and insightful or even funny. And if they're not funny, well, chances are I'm coming at you with fire and blood from Daenerys Targaryen. Leave a thumbs up for Game of Thrones. I am a huge, huge fan of Game of Thrones. George R.R. Martin. Matter of fact, I've even made a strong case that he should head the department of PvP at WoW, because every single time, actually, it's almost like he's already there, because every time I find some sort of fun ability, like my Shadow Priest with Spectral Guys, well, that's too much fun. We got to take that away. So that's almost like George R.R. Martin in the sense that I start to become attached to a character. I really like a character. I'm rooting for their success. And George R.R. Martin is like, okay, that's too much fun. We're going to kill him off. We're going to kill her off. Just like that. Boom, knocked off the monk. That's my purpose here. So it looks like we're stuck. See, this is what's happening. We're running the flag at a good pace, but the problem is that we're not holding two bases consistently. We're going to get a second base. We have a little bit of a lead, but this is still a very difficult recipe, because what ends up happening in this scenario, at the very end, it's going to be close enough to whoever gets that last flag. So it's not going to be a recipe for success, you running flags consistently, having one base and the other team having two. That's not going to be a recipe for success. And I'm going to say this, say it again, what's going to happen at the very end is very simple. Whoever has that last flag is the team that's going to win, because it's going to be that close. It's going to come down to it. That's just the way the numbers work. And I've done this many, many times to, not with 100% accuracy to know how this plays out. But if you put a gun to my head and say, how is this going to play out? And I have to choose, I'm kind of going to go with what my experience happened to be in the past. And that's what we go by. We go by our experience. Is there any other way to do it? I mean, we're very, very fixed here on holding on mid. Matter of fact, it looks like the Horde have edged out a little bit, and now it's a fight for the flag. And we have all kinds of whammies here, or all kinds of CC and different things to keep them from grabbing the flag. And there's always a Horde healer there. As you can see, there's a Disc Priest, and he's just kind of trying to back off. There's a Windwalker. Luxley knows the difference. There's a Mistweaver Monk, and it looks like, yes, we were able to grab the flag because we pushed them back far enough. But they have two healers there, and that could be problematic. I don't know how many we have. I'm definitely getting some heals, it looks like. I'm not sure from here because I can't see any hots on me, but I'm getting conflicted information. Has that ever happened? So yeah, right now I'm playing with Locked and Loaded, which is I mean, I switch some builds on my Hunter depending on the situation. It's probably one of the more flexible classes that I play right now as far as me switching. A lot of times I remain hardcore when I play my Shadow Priest, or hardcore on something when I play my Warlock or Boomkin, but my Hunter I tend to switch things up quite a bit. I do like to have Black Arrow when I'm facing a lot of plate classes, because at least I'm offering some magical damage in there that is going to have a harder impact on plate classes than it is other classes. But with, although I have to say, I mean, if you're going with the dual plate, you really have to go Black Arrow if you're up against a lot of plate. But you can go with the instant proc for your aimed shot, but the problem is aimed shot is physical damage, and it's not going to do as much damage to plate, although that instant shot can really, really help out a lot, because if you have full focus, you could get those 2 instant shots off, and then you could turn around and probably get another 3 aim shots off. So it's like 5 aim shots in a row. As long as, see, that's the problem. If you're able to cast aim shot on the move, I think it would make MM a lot more fun and a lot more fluid to play. But your 2 biggest damage abilities, meaning aim shot and wind burst, have to be hard cast, which means you have to stop, which gives them a chance to key on you. So, and it kind of really hurts the fluidity of your rotation. because sometimes you're in your rotation and you're forced to move around because you're getting trained, and now your rotation's messed up and you're not maximizing your damage. Let me know if you guys have run into that with Hunter, if you haven't, or even if you have an antidote to that. I'd love to hear it, and certainly apply it in a video perhaps, or even in just my gameplay, because I don't see any way, and that's kind of true for any given class, that hardcast, which is basically a DPS caster or a ranged hunter. Not as much BM because everything they have is instant cast, but definitely with MM. So let me know if there's a way that you guys get around that. And I'm talking about warlocks who have hard cast, shadow priests who have hard cast, where their overall rotation is interrupted by a warrior and a demon hunter jumping on them, and then all of a sudden now you're kind of forced to go defensive, you're forced to use your instant cast. And let me know if there's a way that you're really good at, or a way to have that synergy to go right back into your rotation and try to maximize it. And there's a demon hunter on me. Now, here's the thing. We have the flag, but they have 2 bases, we have 1. And like I said, it's close enough to where if we cap it, we're in pretty good shape. We probably could take down the win. And we do. But that's what it came down to. If the Horde had gotten that last flag, we probably would have lost. And that's how it works out when you keep losing a base, like I said. But this is Luxley saying, whatever it is, by you guys, whether it's morning, afternoon, or night, make it epic, make it great. And I want to thank you guys for watching.